Namaste. Hello. One of the best known features of yoga is the fact that it is a system of exercise. And the exercises in yoga are designed to do many things to affect the physical body, to affect the mind, and to bring about a sense of well-being, a sense of union, a sense of oneness with the world, both within ourselves and the world beyond ourselves. And the traditions of yoga, dating back many thousands of years, have used exercises, positions, postures, as the ancient yogis went into this sort of deep state of meditation, where they achieved that ultimate sense of enlightenment, of those great questions in life. Who am I? What am I? What is this world that we're living in? Today we tend to be very conscious of the movements in the exercises, the stretches, the strength. The 3 S's, as they're known, are strength, stamina and suppleness. And it's the suppleness which sometimes gets overemphasized in yoga. So it's worth thinking about what is involved in those various aspects of the way in which we keep fit. When we're thinking about stretching in yoga, what we need to also do is to bear in mind just a little bit of basic anatomy, how your body is made. We know that to be able to support the body, we have a skeleton, the skeleton of apparently hard bones. They are hard, but they are breakable. And then we've also got the muscles, which we recognise as being the things that help us to move. So by contracting a muscle we can move our limbs. And finally, in that sphere we've got the ligaments holding the bones together to make those movements that are so essential in our daily lives, and the tendons which hold on to the bones, and as muscles contract, so they will pull the bones into shape, and so the shape of the body will change. Sometimes people become obsessed with one or the other of those 3 things. One of the things which concerns me in modern yoga is the extreme postures that people seem to want to achieve. The ability to curl yourself up backwards until you're not just bending backwards, but you're going so far back that you can tuck your head between your legs from behind. Or we expect to be able to move the limbs in ways that, you know, at one time we would just have thought showed that a person was double jointed. And there is danger in this, because if we overstretch the ligaments, they're not designed to be overstretched. They're designed certainly to allow the skeleton to move within fairly normal, regular spheres of movement and ranges of movement. So yes, you want to be mobile enough that you can raise your arms over your head, that you can move the shoulders, and by doing that we're turning and twisting the body. Some people also become obsessed not just with the flexibility and the stretchability of the muscles of the body, but the strength and the size and the appearance of the muscles. So bodybuilders will develop the size of the muscles and the apparent strength of the muscles to be able to lift enormous weights. But when you see them walking or moving about, they're very stiff because the ligaments are not getting the range of movement. And then the tendons themselves are somewhere in between. The tendons attach the muscles to the bones. When the muscles contract, they pull on the bones. And this is a very useful thing because although, as always, we don't want to go to the extremes, when you contract a muscle and it pulls on the bone in a way resists. It holds on to the tendon much more tightly, like mussels attaching themselves to rocks on the seashore. And that helps to make the bone stronger. It helps to prevent the onset of conditions like osteoporosis. So they are bendable, they are stretchable. But of course, all of us are subject to ageing. And as we age, I'm afraid that things do tend to tighten up, to ossify, unless we're very careful. The ligaments become tighter, shorter, less manoeuvrable. And so you see people as they age becoming more and more restricted in their ranges of movement. As we age, there is a natural tendency perhaps to be less physically active. The muscles themselves start to become less utilised. We sit down more, we're more static. We don't do the fun things, the running, the jumping, the rolling around that young people, young animals will do. And so the tendons themselves tend also to become less stretchable, less mobile. The muscles themselves deteriorate unless they're used. The muscles will become smaller, and so you see many old people becoming almost skeletal and seeming to have so little muscle that we may be surprised that they can still actually move. Of all those things, prevention is better than cure. It is better to maintain movements of the skeleton that are fit and healthy and mobile enough for us to be able to do the things which we would expect to do, certainly in early middle age, to put your foot up inside a wash basin, to bend down and pick something up from the floor freely without going through that old person expression of, oh, the floor's getting further away than it used to be. Rubbish, nonsense. That doesn't need to be the case, only if there are other circumstances that cause it. The muscles themselves, although they may shrink, although they may become less mobile, less stretchable, can be changed. This is one of the great things about aging. It can be prevented for a long period of time. Even muscles which have deteriorated can be rebuilt. There is some evidence to show that protein supplements, even into old age, can encourage the muscles to maintain some bulk, some health, some strength. And so we see pictures and images and videos of people in their 90s, their 100s, still active, still cycling, still swimming, still involved in movement and activities. This is what we need to aim for.